Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Elecom. This is their 4K AI auto tracking webcam that you can check out on Amazon. At the time of this review, it's about $170, but I'll have a link in the description below where you guys can check this out. So let's dig into this real quick. There's a lot of interesting features with this 4K webcam, and we're going to get into it right now. Okay, let's take a look at what you get inside the box once you open this up. You don't really get any documentation, but you can go to Elecom's site to download the manual and or drivers and software. I'll have links to those below as well. Now they do give you two cables here for hookup. This is going to be a USB Type-C to USB Type-C. If your computer supports a USB Type-C direct input, you can just use this cable. It's a very durable looking cable. Also included is a USB 3.0 to USB Type-C cable as well, so that you can hook this up via USB 3.0. Now this camera's got a ton of different features which we're going to go over. You can take a look at the main unit here. Again, it's going to be 4K Ultra HD up to 60 frames per second. There is speaker marking. There are dual noise canceling microphones that we will go over as well. On the bottom there you also see that we have a nice little slot to use a tripod if you don't want to set this up another way on your device. We've got those dual microphones there, nice glass lens. Overall, in the back, you've got that USB Type-C connection for the device itself. Now you can flip this down, and I will show you exactly a couple different ways of doing this. If you flip this down, you have just kind of like a lever here that will sit against the back of your monitor, that type of thing. But if you do choose to set this up in a different way, I'll show you how it fully folds out on the bottom here. So it's kind of a dual hinged system. Again, you have the one flap here, or you can tripod mount it, or you can actually pull out the entire thing as well, so that you can put this on a level surface such as a desk or wherever you're going to be setting this up. And of course you'll be able to then pose it to whatever position you need it in. So it's got multiple ways of being set up here, and I kind of do enjoy the kind of desktop setup that they have here, since I have a monitor that doesn't really sit well with having it hanging over the side or the top of the monitor. So this is actually an excellent idea by them to have that dual hinge action. Another thing that we have is the privacy shutter, and this is just an extra add-on. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to, but of course it's included, so you can. It kind of just clips on from the front and then will attach at the back. Kind of hard to do behind the camera here, but give me a second and I will get this attached. And you can see that once it's clipped in and lined up correctly, it'll allow for a pass-through, of course, for your data cable, and you're good to go. So it's on there, and you can use it or not use it if you don't want to. A lot of people are concerned with your webcam getting hacked or something like that, so you have this flip down privacy cover, which is also very, very nice to have. So now what I'm going to do is show you guys just a little bit of footage here directly taken from the camera, so you can get an idea of what quality is going to be like on the video and of course on the audio side as well. Hey everybody, it's Luke from Galaxy Tech Review, and this is a sample video of the Elecom 4K Ultra HD webcam. This is going to give you a good idea of what the settings out of the box are going to look like. Now I can tweak a ton of settings for the image quality, and I'll show you guys that after this sample video. It also gives you a good idea of what the dual microphones, noise canceling microphones, sound like, so you guys can get an idea of what kind of microphones this has as well built into the camera. Now, the one thing that I did turn on in Elecom's software, which we're going to go over after this video, is this little icon right here. And what this icon is an icon that will
come up, it will pick up the highest decibel level in the room, and it will put that icon next to that person. And this is really helpful if you have a bunch of people in a room for a meeting. Now, this particular camera, of course, has that 130 degree POV, so it really does capture a lot of the room. Now, I'm not using that right now because I'm just doing a sample video for you guys, but if I had several people in this room, this camera would be able to capture all of that. So this is really good for meetings when you have several people. It's also good for, streaming. Anything that you want to use this camera for is pretty good in my opinion so far. I enjoy the picture on this even out of the box. Now I can again tweak this a little bit further, but we'll go over the software here in just a moment. So this is a sample video of the Elecom 4K Ultra HD camera. Now the last thing I want to show you is this does have an AI auto reframe in it. So if I move back, this will take about 4 or 5 seconds, but now you can see it reframed me to the center of the picture. So if I move around, I'm always going to be in the frame, and that is something that is really cool. I like to have that feature built into the camera, and this camera now has replaced my old 1080p camera that I had on my PC, and this will be my new camera moving forward.
Okay, so let's take a look at the software now that you've seen a kind of a demo of how the whole entire thing works here. You've got the software. This is the UCAM software, and I'll have links to where you can download this directly from their site. Now you can enable digital zoom and zoom into different portions of the screen, but that will disable the AI reframing. You do have your exposure with gain and exposure time, white balance with either custom or auto, and it picked up pretty well in auto. Then you have image adjustment, and this is where you can fine-tune pretty much everything for your particular image. If you don't like the way something looks, you can adjust the brightness, of course. You can adjust the contrast, you can adjust the hue, the saturation, sharpness, and of course you have a gamma as well, so you can mess with those to see what looks best for you. Now you have a backlight compensation on there as well. I usually turn that on. It is HDR capable, so that is an awesome inclusion to this as well. And there is a distortion correction. You can see when I turn it off, it gets a little distorted, and then of course when I turn it back on, it kind of stretches it out. Now your anti-flicker is going to be 50 hertz or 60 hertz, and of course that auto framing, and you can adjust the sensitivity of the auto framing so that depending on how you move around, if you don't want it to auto frame every 2 seconds or whatever, or every little bit of movement, you can adjust that sensitivity. And you can also adjust the zoom level as well, so you can just zoom in or out depending on how close you want to be to the picture. So that is awesome as well. And all of these work really, really well. Now the tracking active speakers is that feature that I showed you here, and it's going to capture and put up a little bit of an icon for whoever is the loudest in decibels. Auto framing again is self-explanatory, and we already went over that. Now if you go into more, you get your software version, you can update the firmware, and this is a relatively new camera, so there is no firmware update yet. But overall, this is a very nice package from Elecom for this 4K camera. Okay, so that's my review of the 4K Ultra HD webcam from Elecom. I think they did a great job with this, with the AI framing that's in there, up to 4K at 60 frames per second. You got that speaker marking, and of course those double noise canceling microphones that sounded really good in my test for webcam microphones. Overall, this has definitely replaced my 1080p webcam as my personal webcam, and if you're looking for a 4K Ultra HD webcam that will do auto tracking and keep you in the frame and have a bunch of extra nice added features, then you should definitely check this one out, and I'll have all the links in the description below. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. If you have any questions or comments about this webcam, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Remember to like, and if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so, because that always helps me out, and I'll check you guys out on the next video.